Welcome to the Kindness Project, the podcast designed to share stories of kindness and share how kindness can make positive change in our world, one small act at a time.
In this week's episode of the Kindness Project, we talk about WhatsApp, sausages, and we have part 2 of Chris being interviewed on Phoenix FM. Welcome to the Kindness Project. I'm joined by a man that's been heavy on the booze and a girl that never drinks.
Thank you for that weird recommendation, Rose. I haven't been there heavy on the booze. I've just been out quite a lot.
Happy enough, I beg to differ. I've still got messages on my phone from nearly midnight on Friday, I think it was.
Right.
Right. You were randomly
right.
sending
Now,
messages. You need to handle that cover.
Let's be clear about what those voice messages said, Rush, for our audience, just so that we've got a bit of clarity around it. They were, Charlotte, I've found the genius. I never used WhatsApp voice notes before in a big way.
I'm hoping you
what I've realised is the point of a what.
I don't like them. I don't like sending them or receiving them.
You don't like voice notes? What's the matter with voice notes?
So do I.
Like a lot of the stuff I do in my life, I do with music on the background. So I have to pause the music to listen to the voice note, turn the music back on. I don't like sending voice notes because I don't like.
So you don't like voice notes because it interrupts your live soundtrack? Is that what you're telling me?
But also, I don't like sending voice notes because I don't like listening to them back to make sure I haven't made any mistakes. Because I don't like the sound of my own voice. That's why I don't listen to the podcast.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. I get that. And I don't think anybody particularly likes the sound of their own voice, but voice notes are genius for one reason. And I'm similar to you in terms of I'd rather type a note than record it.
Oh, would I?
Weird for two podcast hosts, really. But there is a genius way of using a voice note. It's to send random terms of endearment to your brother and lyrics for 1990s garage tunes. Would you like to play a couple of the voice notes on the podcast, right?
I'm not playing in the voice notes, but they was very nice.
Speaking of sibling communication using voice notes, your other child likes to send me voice notes of screaming.
Oh, wow.
Oh, right, okay. Fair enough. But yeah, all I was doing, Charlotte, was using the medium of voice notes to tell my brother I love him. So I was just literally just sending, but I was saying it like this. I love you. Now, that's fine, isn't it? To share a term of endearment with your brother in the form of I love you. And then I got 21 seconds to go.
No, but he did come. A little bit of luck.
Oh yeah, timely. So as you know, Charlotte, and our listeners probably don't. Your mum and I went to a DJ Spoonie did a garage classics night where he combined 90s UK garage music with a live band, and it was absolutely fantastic.
You know, I only know about that because I saw it on Mum's Facebook.
Oh, yeah, I thought we told you about that.
No.
Yeah. So went to that. I've got to talk about this other amazing gig I went to this week. So that was Friday night.
Right, you're right.
Thursday night.
You're just going out a lot.
Sorry.
Nothing. I didn't say nothing.
What? Sorry, am I not allowed to go out now? Have I got to get? Now I'm in my 40s. Have I got to sit in with a pipe and slippers all the time? Is that what you're telling me?
November, December is usually your busy season, so it's a bit early in the year for you.
I am kicking off early, Charlotte. The thing is now, today's been a rest and recuperation day. So this gig on Thursday night. So I had live music Friday night and I had live music Thursday night. A bunch of financial services types got together and wanted to raise some money for Ukraine. So they put in this gig called Rock for Ukraine. They got a band from musicians who all work in financial services but love playing instruments and are pretty good at it. And invited a bunch of people along to raise some money. And they had two amazing young Ukrainian girls singing at the event as well. And the entire event raised £45,000, I think, to support refugees going into Moldova and needing help because they're Ukrainian refugees. I'm hoping, and I'm going to reach out to the guy. Speak to me about this, Ruts, because I'd like to get the guy who runs the charity that supports these refugees onto the podcast, on to explain a bit more about the amazing work they do.
Yeah.
But it was a good night, lots of laughs, loads of bad dancing, Charlotte, loads of bad dancing.
I would expect nothing less from your sort.
I know. I don't know if it was. I mean, there was at one point one guy started a mosh pit, but if you've ever seen a one-man mosh pit, it just doesn't work as well. But loads of money raised for an amazing cause, and everybody had quite a good night. So that was good. And then Friday we had DJ Spoonie, and then I was out with friends last night. So I will be resting for about a month to recover from my 3-4 night stint of nights out. Charlotte, what have you been up to?
I love that you're having nights out and you're still going to bed earlier than me.
What do you mean?
You're like talking about like sending Russ messages at 12 as if that's late, and it's like that's relatively early in the evening.
It was earlier than that. I think 10 o'clock.
What time did you crash?
I don't know. We came back, had a chat, and went to bed after that. So yeah. Well, what time are you going to bed at the minute, Charlotte? Considering that even though you're 19, I've still got a duty as a dad to like make sure that you're getting enough sleep.
Anywhere between 1 and 5.
1 and 5.
Yeah.
You are living the student life, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, okay, so I had a D&D session yesterday. So I went to sleep at 4:30 this morning. I had a D&D session yesterday. And I made myself a coffee to power through it because I was feeling a bit droopy. And then I didn't realise my mistake until it was
a bit droopy. I'd be drooping off at 4:30 in the morning.
No, I had the coffee at 7:30.
Right.
To sort of poke myself up a bit.
What time did this D&D session start?
7:30.
7, right? Okay.
7, but I realised the mistake of drinking caffeine at 7:30 in the night.
And then you were up
in the morning when I finally felt it all drain out of me.
I need my sleep too much now to do that. Russ, what's the latest night you've ever had?
Latest night I've ever had? I went to bed at 5 this morning.
Yeah.
What is going on with you two?
Hold on, what I tell you? I've had 2 hours sleep. I got 2 hours sleep and then I was back up.
You're joking. Have you been sleeping today?
No, not at all. I haven't had a sleep today. I'm lucky if I get 4 hours a night.
Yeah.
Are you joking?
I'm in that boat.
Oh, Christ. I need to sleep. I need to get 6-7 hours, and then I might crack in a nap as well. So I don't know what you two are up to.
I'm lucky if I get...
Yeah. Even if I go to sleep at a normal time, like I went to sleep at 8 the other day and I woke up at midnight.
Right. Listen, Lady and Jen, make sure that just make sure you expect a few voice notes from me over the course of the next couple of weeks. Just going, get to bed, you two. Just turn your laptops off and get to sleep. That's what I'm going to be doing.
In the week, I'm in bed early. I'll go to bed at 9:10.
No.
In the week.
Is that the same as you, Charlotte? You know, when you're working?
Well, Mondays is quiz night. so I don't get in till 11:30.
And then you go straight to sleep.
Well, I try. Unlikely to work, but
Okay.
Yeah.
I bet Tuesdays.
Tuesday night. No. Maybe I usually crash around like 12 Tuesday.
12
It's a long
Wednesdays?
day.
Wednesdays. What's your typical sleep time on Wednesdays? I can't believe we're forensically going through your week, seeing what time you go to bed.
No, Wednesdays and sort of the weekends are sort of like wibbly wobbly, like. And
Wibbly wobbly Wednesdays at the weekend.
yeah,
That's what Wednesdays are for, though, aren't they? Wibbly wobbly. Do you know what
well,
I mean?
I don't have any lectures or tutorials, so I usually use the time to like do
Yeah.
all my prep work for the week that
Right.
doesn't need to be done for Tuesday, and then after that's done, I just do some personal stuff until I'm tired, and then it's 1 a.m. And then I'll turn in.
That's right. It's easy to lose track of time.
I'll be sitting there like writing poetry until like 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah. You are so rock and roll. You are so. I can't get any sleep because what you doing? Writing poetry. As
I
you
go into
do.
a bit of a flow state, honestly.
Well, you know what? Flow state. Getting into that flow state is really good, and I'm struggling at the minute because I'm doing loads of research for book number 3, which I'm trying to write at the minute, but I'm not finding myself in that state where I'm doing a lot of writing, and
Yeah.
I need to carve some time out of my week to just get writing done. It's been a
think-
bit is it? Sorry, can I just use the? Can we make this phrase in the podcast, please? The last couple of months, because I've been so busy, have been a little bit wibbly wobbly.
Wibbly
What's
wobbly.
been wibbly wobbly in your life, Raz?
Absolutely nothing.
Oh,
I'm enjoying life at the moment.
okay, fair enough.
I've been since the start of the year, to be honest.
Good. But what is wibbly wobbly in your life in general? Question of the podcast, by the way, ladies and gents. Let me ask you, what in your life is in a wibbly wobbly world of its own? Russ,
Absolutely nothing is wibbly wobbly at the moment.
fair enough.
I've got another
Charlotte?
wibbly wobbly thing. I've made 2 batches of cookies this weekend. The first one I burnt
nice.
tremendously, and today's batch I just mildly underbaked. Yeah.
So you are going wibbly wobbly on the cookie baking, aren't you?
You
Because
wanna-
you're
you
either
wanna-
going too
you-
much
you
or
wanna
too
see my
little.
cookies?
Yeah,
got a
just the
bomb.
cookies. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Are they from Iceland?
No, I made them. I made them myself.
Show me him. This is rubbish on a podcast, isn't it? Just you showing the
They're
cookies
nice
to
big
the.
cookies, though.
Oh, are you going to make? I'm. You know what? I'm really looking forward to, Charlotte. I'm looking forward to coming up in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And are we going to be doing some cookie? Are you going to bake some cookies for me coming up?
Well, the only reason I baked cookies is because my butter was starting to go out of date.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. Right. What else do we need to share with our esteemed audience?
That's as good a reason to make cookies as any.
Honestly, whenever I have stuff that's about to go out of date, I use it, so I'm not wasting it. So there's a lot of stuff that I just.
Okay. Well, that's another question for you, Russ. What was the last thing you made? Because if you didn't, the ingredients to make that thing would have been out of date.
No.
That's everything I've eaten today.
Nah.
If it's even coming close to date, I'm a bit sketchy about using it.
Are you a bin? Are you like if it's even close to the date you put it in the bin?
No, I won't eat leftovers either. I won't eat.
Oh my
stuff
god!
that-
What?
No, I won't eat stuff that have been cooked the night before.
What about leftover?
No.
What happens if you've got loads of food spare?
No, even the dog has it, or it goes in.
Oh, you feed it to the dog.
No, that's a lot.
So-
A lot of the stuff I make is like, especially this weekend. is, oh no, it's starting to go out of date. Let me use it before it has to go in the bin.
Yeah,
And if
you're
you
worrying
open-
me. You're worrying me now, Charlotte, because this student life means that you've got wibbly wobbly sleep patterns. And you've just told me, with mum sitting listening, that basically you're consistently using out of date food.
No,
How's this
because
adult living going for you?
I bought sweet potatoes 3 weeks ago to
Right,
make sweet potato fries, and I used 4 of the 6 sweet potatoes in the bag
right.
to make sweet potato fries.
Right.
And there's just 2 sitting there, and I had to use them today because otherwise they would have gone out of date.
How are we feeling about that, Raz? What would you do?
Yeah.
Would those 2 sweet potatoes go in the bin, or would they be used?
Eddie always says that's all right, but they're going.
Yeah, like they're not out of date yet. They've
They're
got a
going in
couple
the
of
bin.
days left in them, but I just wanted to use them before it came.
Right. There's Tess Russell's threshold then, right? So this game, Charlotte, is going to be called eating it, binning it, or feeding it to the dog, right? That's what we're going to call this game. And we've got to pick stuff, and then Russ has just got to tell us whether he'd eat it, bin it, or feed it to the dog.
God,
Last night's Chinese.
I just feed it to the dog.
You had a steak. You had a steak, and then you could only eat half of it. What would you do?
I never only eat half a steak.
So, but if theoretically you could only handle half a steak on that particular day, and you had half a steak left, would you eat it, bin it, or feed it to the dog?
Yeah, straight after I had the other half.
No, right. You don't want the other half of the steak. There's the point. I know. We are talking entirely theoretically, Russ, because you would eat the entire steak on the night you cooked it. But
Really?
just imagine, right?
No, I'd
You
feed
didn't.
it to the dog. I wouldn't have it a day later.
Feed it to the dog. There's a little bit of mould on your bread.
That's
Huh?
definitely not.
Okay.
If there's mould on the bread, I wouldn't go near it.
So would you eat it? Bin
Oddly
it? Feed
oddly
it to
enough,
the dog.
if the bread's been out there more than 2 days, then as far as I'm concerned, it's not worth eating.
Okay. So would you eat it? Bin it? Feed it to the.
Oh no, I've been it.
Be honest.
I've been it.
Bin it after you fed it to the dog. Right, go on, Charlotte. You pick one.
Oddly enough, the dog don't eat much bread.
Yeah,
No,
Dad,
he's too busy on steak and Chinese.
You can't give dogs
They
bread.
don't like bread.
Dad,
It's
what would happen if we gave
full
Dexter
of every
bread?
other food that's being fed with.
What would happen if we
Go on,
gave Dexter
Charlotte.
bread? Okay. What's the thing that I do that Russ might not like? Okay. What did I do for dinner today?
Oh, black banana. How about a black banana?
I don't buy bananas.
I don't eat banana.
They go off too fast.
Right. If you bought a banana by accident, would you eat it,
I
bin
don't-
it, or feed it to the dog?
I don't see how realistically you buy a banana by accident.
All right. No, fair enough.
I
Somebody
didn't-
gives you a banana.
You're more
Somebody-
likely
some-
to be given a banana than buy it by accident.
Yeah, no,
Well, I
fair
wouldn't-
enough.
I wouldn't
I'll
eat it.
turn up at
but-
your house. I'll give you there's a bow on it. I've really decorated it so it's a real present. There's a pink bow on it. I go, Russ, I've bought you a present, mate. Here's a banana. You're too polite to go, I don't eat bananas. You accept the gift. What do you do with that banana?
That'll go in the bin. Especially if it's black.
I bet if it's yellow.
Then I'll probably give it to Kelly.
You'd give it to your partner.
Yeah.
Now that's not something I had in the original game.
Oh.
Kelly like bananas.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. Does your dog like bananas, or is he too full on Chinese and steak?
I don't think. What you been
Go on,
on
Charlotte.
about?
I can tell you've thought of one now. Go on.
No, I was going to answer the banana question.
Go on then.
If you walked up to my flat with a banana
Who would you think it to?
I'm telling.
Well, I've always got yogurt in the fridge, honey in the cupboard,
Oh
and I've always
yes.
got cinnamon and mixed spice as well.
Oh,
'Cause those are
yes.
essentials. Maybe
What are you doing with that banana?
Maybe I'll tell you to pop to the shop and get me a pint of milk, and then we'll have smoothies.
Sorry, I turn up to your flat with the gift of a banana, and suddenly you're sending me shopping.
I don't keep milk. I don't keep milk.
Right. So
It doesn't last long enough.
What we doing? What we doing with that milk?
We're putting it in the smoothie. Or milkshake. We'll make milkshakes.
Milkshakes. Fair
And
enough.
I've got some
Fair enough.
oats at the back of the cupboard as well. They never get any use. But
That goes well with ice cream and strawberries.
I don't ever have ice cream or strawberries.
Milkshake maker, and it goes well with ice cream and strawberries.
Strawberries
Look,
go fast.
It only took one podcast to us to start to talk about his Ninja products again.
Oh,
I mean, can you get in touch with Ninja and try and get your sponsorship deal sorted, Russ?
I brought myself another Ninja product the other day.
Oh, go on.
What did you get?
Go on. Is it a waste disposal unit because your dog's sick of eating your food?
Oh, no. I gave Cassie my air fryer because with the intention to upgrade to the bigger one.
Right.
And then they was out of stock anyway. They've just come back in stock, so I managed to get one now.
Right. How big's the air fryer?
And I'm 9.5 litre.
How many
How many in your
baskets?
house?
How many?
How many people in your house, Russ? Just
Yeah,
remind our
maybe.
listeners.
Don't forget I'm feeding the dog as well. He's got a big
Yeah. Do you do extra for the dog? Your
No.
dog must be the best fed dog on the planet.
I always save him little bits while I'm eating. So
Yeah. So
Yeah,
what's his
well,
favourite that you? What bit does he always want to eat when you're?
I loves a bit of sausage.
So you love a bit of sausage as well, then I'd imagine.
No,
Don't say it, Russ.
So,
He's
Russ.
a child. Don't say it.
So if the dog loves a bit of sausage, does that mean you're giving him the sausage?
I'd wait you on there with your banana and call you a sausage.
Or do you buy him a sausage from the shop?
No. We don't buy him human food.
Ah, right, okay.
It's not like we shop for free.
So how comes he's eating sausage?
Well, we had some that have been in the fridge a couple of days. the
Right,
other day.
and because it's been in the fridge for a couple of days, you won't eat it.
Russ,
Yeah.
how many times does the shopping get done a week for your ass?
Yeah, good question.
Oh, I only shop once a week. I bulk buy meat though. I bulk buy sausage. I bulk
Oh,
buy.
it goes in the freezer, and if it's been in the
Yeah.
fridge too long, then it's an
Yeah.
issue. Fair enough. I was like, how are you like eating sausage?
I don't go out. I don't go out shopping daily for bread.
Sausage.
No.
You haven't got a daily sausage habit or anything like that.
That's far too much about my sausage, mate.
Oh, I can't believe the dog eats your sausage, Russ, and you've not. Anyway,
Russ.
on that
I'm
note,
so sorry
I'm
for
being.
him.
That reminds me of the American Pie movie, you know.
Let's not even go there. Let's not even go there. Right. On that note, shall we move on? We have got two of Charlotte's projects to talk about. We've got charlottedames.com, and I had a really interesting insight into socks this week. Charlotte, do you want to share what you learned about socks in a new segment we're calling "What Charlotte Taught Us This Week"? Go.
They put their little feet in the little leaves. And then
No, sorry. Normally Charlotte does a trailer, but as it's Charlotte's segment, Russ, you're on the trailer. This is called "What Charlotte Taught Us This Week." Go.
What Charlotte told us this week.
Great, I really appreciated that, Russ. Right, okay. the cavemen put their feet into little leaves and wore them as socks.
I don't believe
And
a
that's
word
where
of that.
socks come from
Well,
originally.
that's
That's
the
where the
earliest.
concept of socks came from.
Yeah, they you know they had vegetation as little feet covers, and then as the time went on, it was leather, and they used to just tie it around their ankles, and then the Egyptians started sewing them and knitting them to
How
fit
can they
his feet.
possibly
So was
know
it the
that?
Egyptians that originally like, had the concept of the modern sock?
And they were the first ones to knit socks shaped for the human feet.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Did they wear them with sandals? Because that's a bit of a fashion faux
They
pas nowadays,
did.
isn't it?
In fact,
Did they?
there was a lot of socks were specifically designed to be worn with sandals, so they'd have a split where the part from the sandal was supposed to go.
You're joking. What?
Yep.
So for the big toe sort of thing.
Yeah, the split, especially the ones made of leather.
Are you a sandal wearer, Russ?
No.
Are you a sock wearer?
I wear no shoes in the house, and then if I'm outside the house, I'll wear my Skechers.
Right, okay, fair enough. You got really serious there all of a
I
sudden.
don't wear shoes
Oh.
inside the house.
Is the story with that. Food, 2-day roll, bin or dog. And the dog's in the background going, don't feed me anymore. Shoes, don't wear them in the house.
You're really pushing it today, you
If
know.
I'm out, Skechers only.
No,
You've got the other big rules.
It's not like he's making no sense because I have shoes specifically that I wear
Please go, thank you.
just in the building.
I mean,
And then
the
outside shoes.
fact, it tells me a lot about your two lives that you haven't got like a pair of work shoes. Because everybody, like, I've got a pair of work shoes. I've got a pair of working out shoes.
Define work shoes.
Like smart shoes. What's your smart shoe?
Like leather
Well-
shoes.
Well, I mean, I've got a pair of black leather shoes that I'd wear with a suit or.
No, mate,
Ah.
I've got smart shoes. I
Okay.
just feel
It's
more
so
comfortable.
serious about shoes, Charlotte. Look at the face.
I've got my docs.
Why
so
are
that
you so
counts.
serious about shoes?
I was watching Jonathan Ross last night and see Wiki Feet on there.
Oh no, Russ! Don't be on WikiFeet. Don't.
Sorry, what is that?
No.
Apparently, it's
I
where,
don't
they,
even know what that is.
it's where they upload images of famous people's feet and then rate them.
No. Feet are not a good part of the human body, are they? Let's be honest. They're just not.
I was quite surprised it even existed.
Oh, it's been
Yeah,
around for a
no.
while, Russ. It's not a new thing.
No. So have you got a work shoe, Charlotte?
I got my docs.
Have you got like a smart shoe?
Got my docs.
Oh yeah. I think docs can be smart.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
docs can be a very
I mean,
smart
they're
shoe.
polished.
They're a bit rebellious smart, though, aren't they? Because it's like docs say I'm smart, but you know, there's a bit of like edge about me. I think that's where.
I've got me trainers. I've got me Vans. I've got me docs. My trainers I wear in the building because they're easy to slip on, and I put them on if we have a fire alarm.
Right.
My Vans I wear just casually. They're sort of high tops, so they've got the ankle support that my trainers don't. So that's good for everyday wear. And then my Vans I wear if I'm going somewhere nice. Yeah,
Fair
although they're
enough.
a real pain because I haven't broken them in yet, and they keep giving me blisters.
Oh yeah, you got to go through that like bit where you've got a. I've got a new pair of classic Adidas. I am not, as you both know, I'm not a big. Like I don't replace my clothes particularly often, and when I do, it's like functional more than anything else. But I did buy myself a nice pair of blue Adidas as my casual shoe the other day. What I've got from this little engagement though is Russ takes his shoes very seriously, but he's quite frivolous with his sausage. On that note,
I don't think he takes his shoes really seriously. I think he's just done with all shenanigans.
Well, I did.
I
I had to tame it down there for a second because I think it's a bit more than shenanigans at this point.
Right, are we going over the top then? Should we move on to?
Goodness
Huh.
knows. That's it. We're in the next segment now. You want to read the first story?
No, you can do both today.
This is my punishment. Woman praises a stranger for random act of kindness at Lidl. A Wrexham woman was left shocked at a stranger's random act of kindness towards her at the supermarket. Barbara Davies was at the checkout of the Lidl store on Salop Road when it occurred. The 67-year-old explained, "I was a bit flustered as I think I kept getting the PIN wrong. It then said my card had been blocked for security reasons. The items cost over £58 and I only had 45 in cash on me. When I was about to return some items, a man about 2 customers back in the queue totally shocked me when said he wanted to pay for my shopping. The kind stranger paid for Barbara's shopping and refused to take the $45. So used to reading the American stories, I just immediately £45 in cash that she had offered him. She said it didn't seem to be a big thing to him, but I was left speechless by it all. To have something so kind done for you really leaves you feeling quite emotional. He is such a nice and kind young man." After Barbara posted about the kind gesture on a Wrexham social media site, she was informed who the kind stranger was. He wishes to remain anonymous. Barbara said it really made me smile and added she would pay the money back to a food bank and help someone else.
I absolutely love that. I absolutely love that. And it's those small acts of daily kindness that we just don't like that happen. I'd imagine happen quite a lot as well. So let me share my acts of when somebody was. I mean, certainly, the people who came to the Recent Kindness Project book launch were super generous and super kind. We had a really good evening, didn't we, Russ?
We did. It was very nice.
Yeah,
Sorry, I couldn't make it, lads.
No, look, you've got your Glasgow life, and certainly we appreciate you recording us a little video that we played on the night. So that was all good. However, my act of kindness this week was, as I said, I went to the Give for Ukraine on Thursday night, and it was near St Paul's Cathedral in London. So went sort of into town on Thursday to go to the event, and we got to St Paul's Cathedral, and we just sort of, Dan and I, who went with me, we were just getting Google Maps up to take a look at where we needed to go next. And this guy walked up to us and said, "Are you guys lost? Do you know where you're going?" I said, "Look, we're absolutely fine. We just need to get the Google Maps up and sort of go from there." And he said something really nice to me, which was, "You know what? No worries. Glad you know where you're going. I just wanted to make sure that if you were lost, I helped if I can, because a little bit of kindness goes a long way." So that sort of thing. And I gave him a little, I've got a tendency of giving people a little bit of a shoulder hug, like hand round the shoulder, bit of a squeeze, and a bit of a shoulder hug, and they appreciate the hug. So that was my small act of kindness that I received this week. My wife, Cassie, your mum, Charlotte, and your what's Cassie to you? Sister-in-law, would you say?
Yeah.
Sister-in-law?
Yeah.
Your sister-in-law had an act of kindness for her this week, because yesterday Sophie and Cassie were out at an outdoor cinema with friends, dropped the friends off their house, and accidentally Cassie left her bag, or the bag fell out of the car. So Casey got home and the bag wasn't there. She started panicking, phoned the venue of the cinema, it wasn't there. And what had happened, as I said, it had fallen out around her friends who was lying in the street outside the friend's house. And whilst Cassie was panicking, Charlotte, whilst Mum was panicking, this lady walked up the road with Cassie's mum's bag and said, I found it. I'm really sorry I had to go through the bag to find out who you are, but here's your bag back.
I love it.
So again, how often do you lose your handbag, Russ?
Oh no, you see it all the time on Facebook. People showing pictures of people's cards and
Yeah.
Try. No, I mean, and this is the thing that you haven't got to look. I mean, that is just in our lives 2 real nice acts of kindness.
Yeah.
So, what's been your most recent act of kindness that's been on you, Charlotte?
I don't think I've had one.
How about you, Russ?
what that I've done, or
Either.
well, somebody asked Kelly to borrow him some money earlier, and I agreed to that. So that's probably kind. Somebody worked harder than us, and I wouldn't want them sort of having trouble with the gas and electric and paying their bills, and they're a lot worse off than us. So
Yeah, and that. I mean, again, I was having a conversation with a friend yesterday. You know, if you're lucky enough to be in a position where things are all right at the minute, and you know that for many things aren't, and it doesn't put you in a situation where it sort of puts you in a work state, just being kind enough to help people out sometimes is pretty good. On that note, let's move on to this week's interview. And this week's interview is the second part of me, isn't it? Because I was on Phoenix FM recently talking about the Kindness Project book, available on Amazon. And let's listen to that.
A little bit of kindness. Still in the studio with us, it's Christine.
What a link. That was amazing.
Thank you, yeah. I'm here a week. Literally. We've been chatting all about podcasts, and you are king of the Kindness Project podcast, which sounds absolutely wonderful. We can find it wherever we do our Spotify or podcasting.
Yeah.
We're just chatting off here about what it's like getting into podcasting. What for you? What was that like as an experience? Did you always done that kind of thing? Or
No, it was sort of brand new, and it was one of those things that I had no experience of broadcasting, no experience of sort of interviewing people in a sort of formal way, and just sort of felt my way through. And I think we were talking off air about sort of the mistakes you made. I definitely spoke too much in my early interviews and didn't give people the opportunity to answer the question. But you learn and you develop and you sort of carry on. And hopefully I'm a little bit better now than I was 5 years ago. But it's a way to learn, isn't it? You know, as you said, you listen back and think, what else could I potentially get better at to do it? But yeah, it's I mean, one thing that's really worked well for us in our podcast is every week we do a really silly question of the podcast, and it might be what's your favourite chocolate bar, or what's your favourite kids TV show, and just having that engagement with our audience has been really good fun. And you know, people do want to get involved, don't they? You must know it from the show.
they come and they want to be on there, or they're inspired by whatever, so they get in touch. I mean, have you made connections and friends with people you otherwise never would have met through this?
100%, yeah. So for me, what we always like to do is, if somebody's a particularly good guest, we'll say to them, who's the kindest person you know? And effectively, you never run out of people to interview, because, and it's really diverse, as I say. It's you know, one of the, you know, we interviewed a lady who's head of kindness, head of culture and kindness, Interbrand, one of the biggest brand agencies in the world, posh offices in London, stuff like that. all the way through to somebody who volunteers at a local old people's home. You know, it's just, but getting that diversity. And I think you said in the break, Stuart, you know, you're always surprised about the people who give you real insight. You know, it's not normally the ones you expect, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Always chat to anyone, and you'll be surprised what you learn, what you find.
Everybody's got a story.
Oh, they have.
Yeah. What's the best one you've heard?
The best one I've heard.
Yeah.
Oh, on your podcast.
Yeah, on just when you're interviewing people. What
my stories and stuff. But I'll tell you what. I think the best person, the best interview I've done. I mean, Chris Kingle was on Bob's show, so I'm not sure I can quite beat that. But we had Greta Brandler, who was a 104-year-old lady.
Amazing.
And we interviewed her on her birthday, and it was just I think we were supposed to chat for about 10 minutes. And it pretty much went on for about an hour and a half. But she had so much wisdom and life advice packed into
it. At 104, you know, that's like sort of the insight you can get from that, just living that long.
It was incredible. She was talking about little things like they didn't have a toilet in the house and they went to school on a donkey. And to her, that's totally normal. I was like, what? Sorry?
Yeah.
Dad used to put her on a donkey, pat its bum, and walk her to school. I was like, that's incredible.
Amazing.
So, yeah, that was, as you say, it's the people you don't think you're going to talk to for that long, or you think there's no tour to promote, there's no album, but just the best.
Yeah.
The best chat ever.
Yeah.
So what's one of the things you've learned, if you could give a tip to someone starting a podcast?
Oh, starting a podcast. What's the one tip I'd give? Consistency is the tip I'd give. If you're going to commit to doing a podcast, make sure that you're doing it sort of, you commit to it over the longer term. Because when we first started, I think I looked at the first couple of weeks' numbers and we were getting sort of 15 to 20 people listen like every week.
Yeah.
And my assumption was that I could probably go out in the street and shout at that many people and we'd get a bigger audience. But now we get tens of thousands of people every month who listen to the podcast, and it's really grown a community effectively of people who are interested in stories of optimism and kindness.
Yeah, I just keep at it.
Yeah.
People love it, they'll get into it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think my concern with it was that element of, you know, particularly in the first few weeks, does anybody want to hear this? And there is an audience for stories of people doing amazing stuff in the world, and you'll find your audience regardless of what you want to talk about.
Yeah. I mean, I'm 100% behind it. It sounds lovely because it's so hard to try and find the good news to talk about.
Yeah.
If you're finding it, brilliant, I'm there.
Fact.
So you mentioned the book. I hear there's a book launch soon.
Is. I mean, it's a bit strange having a book launch way after we launched the book, because we should have done it at the start. But because we wanted to get the book out so that people could buy it for Christmas, we wanted to get it out sort of as soon as we could. However, the challenge we had was we had so much going on with, you know, family and work and life. We just didn't have time to arrange a book launch. Book launch is going to be in Hornchurch in February, and if you go on to www.kindnessproject.co.uk, we'll put a little tab that says book launch. So if you'd like to come, you can get your ticket there.
Fabulous.
All proceeds from the book launch also go to St Francis, so we're raising money for them as part of the book launch as well.
Excellent, and you'll be there to autograph the book. And
I will be. I mean, if people want it devalued, I'm absolutely fine with that. But yeah, absolutely, we'll be there to sign the book.
Amazing. So is your daughter going to be there too? What's her thoughts on doing the book and everything?
Interestingly, my daughter now is up in university in Glasgow. So she's studying journalism, and I don't know whether hosting a podcast with her dad for 5 years has nudged her down that road. She's got courses on the week of the book launch, so she won't be down to join me to do it. But one of the absolute pleasures of writing the book was getting her to do the foreword. So getting her involved in the project and talking about that, talking about how we started it and how it grew, was amazing. And for me, I just like the idea of just having something with Charlotte, who's my oldest daughter, Sophie's my youngest, that we can listen back to in 10 years' time and go, we did that. You know, having a legacy project you're proud of is one of the benefits that I never would have dreamed of at the start of the project.
It's so nice when it's snowballed like that, and just to think of how it started and what you've achieved with it so far. We're coming up to New Year and Christmas and stuff. Everyone always has their what's the word? New Year's resolutions and things like that. What are your plans or hopes for the next year?
Great question. I don't do New Year's resolutions because I always break them. So I never start them. But I am a big habits person, so I do like to see what habits I can improve. The big one for me is better sleep. So I'm pretty good. I'm not good at the minute with exercise. There's way too diet. There's way too much chocolate about. But I'll get back on that. I know I can see that big bucket full of chocolate there. Yeah, I'm really good with exercise. Not so good with diet at the minute, but that'll come back. The big one for me is getting better sleep because I don't get particularly good sleep and I need to improve my habits. Less checking on my phone in the bedroom, I think, is probably what I want to change.
Yeah, all the blue light gets in your eyes.
How about you? What's your one?
Oh, that's good. I haven't thought about it really. My next year, I would like to achieve a date with Taylor Swift.
Amazing.
I'm not sure how that's going to happen, but we'll work on that.
Yeah.
Probably a bit like you. Not as much the sleep, but more kind of looking after myself a bit more.
Yeah.
Because I tend to just throw myself into things and then go, whoa.
But this is the interesting thing. Like part of the when I was thinking about sort of writing the book and how to structure it, one of the things that I wanted to talk about is being kinder to yourself. Because sometimes I think, particularly if you are a sort of positive, optimistic person, you just want to do stuff for other people. And my belief, and what our guests have told us, is if you're a little bit kinder to yourself, that then gives you more energy to then help others. So, looking after yourself a bit more is probably the way to go.
Get kindness in yourself and you can spread it further.
Exactly.
Lovely.
Exactly.
Lovely. Any tips for any new writers? If this is your first book with the Kindness Project, what was that like?
Well, it's not my first book; it's my second book.
Oh, right.
But my first book was a technical book on pensions, available in no good bookshops. You can't get it anywhere. And unless you're really into pensions and financial planning and that sort of stuff, you probably don't want to read it. But it was useful for people in that space, so I'm glad I wrote it.
It is available in some bookstores.
It's available in no good book. Yeah, very technical bookshops and on Amazon if you want to look it up. But the way that I'd start and the way that I always start a new book is big pack of Post-its. Think about the subjects you want to write about. Write the subjects you want to write about on a Post-it and spend 3 hours covering a wall with Post-its. The aim is to write just 300 to 500 words for each Post-it, and if you've got enough Post-its on there, and the editing's probably the hard bit, effectively you build it then to a really good book project that you can then work with, and then get a really good editor. Turn around and go, I've written all this stuff, can you just
not worth anyone's time?
Exactly. But start small, chunk it, little Post-its, like sort of I think we had like sort of 100 Post-its on the wall about the people we'd interviewed, the insights we wanted to share, how we wanted to structure it, and then I used to, in my home office, I used to take a Post-it off the wall, write 300 words, and then just carry on doing that.
Yeah, that's a great tip. I need more wall space. Take off some stuff.
Well,
Ain't got any room in here.
funny enough, I'm not writing a new book at the minute. It's going to be out of the next couple of years. That post-it experiment where I just said, right, this is what I want to do, and my wife decided to tidy up the office and throw away all my post-its.
Oh, God.
She didn't realise what it was, so I had to start again. But yeah, that was a learning experience. I should have been clearer about what they were for, to be honest. But yeah,
We better get them written fast because there's probably a bin man somewhere who's got them all over his wall going, what did he mean with this?
he might write it first. To be honest, he might write it better. That's the worry.
I've had this great idea, it just came to me. I can't explain how.
Yeah, exactly.
Brilliant. So the podcast, The Kindness Project, is out there for everyone to enjoy. You've had hundreds of guests on there. Is there a guest that you would love to get on there you've not yet managed to pin down?
Oh, that is such a good question. Who would I have on there that I'd like? You know what? As we said, there's nobody famous that we'd look to get on, but what we'd like is just people with insights into how they've been kind. And as we've said, I learn the most from people who have got those unique personal insights on what motivates them, what drives them, what makes them do good things for other people. It's an interesting one. I often say that kindness can be selfish because it makes you feel good, but the element of the personal story and what drives somebody to do stuff is always the fascinating bit. So if you've got anybody that I should speak to, who's the kindest person you know?
The kindest person I know? Oh, no, that's a good question. Lots. I could make a huge list. But I tell you what, someone we had on the show earlier this week, the guy was called Mal Pope.
Okay.
He wrote the song for Fireman Sam.
Amazing.
And he's got a Christmas single out, a whole Christmas album out, raising loads of money for charity again for the third year in a row. But he's such a lovely guy with so many great stories. And again, so much great life advice. I shall put you in touch.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. And
That'd be nice.
Thank you for having me on the show. It's really appreciated.
My pleasure. Thanks for coming on. We missed the news. We went straight over that.
Which
Doesn't matter. But have you got any positive news for us?
It's Christmas and we can all eat loads of chocolate.
I'm there for that. Sounds fantastic.
Amazing.
Chris, thanks for coming on. Good luck for 2023. Have a happy Christmas.
Absolute
to you and yours.
pleasure. Let me wish all your listeners a happy Christmas and you too, mate.
See you soon.
Bye.
So that was the second part of the interview. What have we got next week, Rouse?
I haven't decided yet. No.
Oh,
I
are you
don't
keeping a
know.
surprise?
No, I don't know yet. I think Sam Oakes is next up.
Sam Oakes, that'll be
the fickle finger of fate that is Russell Dames will decide in time.
That's right.
the fickle finger of the wibbly wobbly fickle finger of fate that is Russell
You ain't
Dames.
coming on.
The wibbly wobbly sausage of fate that is Russell Dames. Why are you two shaking your head? Are we not? Are we not doing that anymore?
I've been the kindest
No.
thing I've done tonight. It's not hanging up on you when you keep going on about my.
So
Right.
sorry, Russ.
On that
so sorry
note-
for him.
On that note, let's move on. Because I know what Charlotte was doing. She was looking for her joke of the week.
Yeah, it is.
Go on. Go on, what's it going to be?
I started a new job as a tailor last week. It's been so-so. I don't even try and get you anymore. If I get Russ, that's good enough.
Yeah, but Russ laughs at anything.
Let's
Russ
have a
laughs
laugh.
Right, I'm going to give you one more chance to make me laugh.
Pick one about sausage. That'll make him laugh.
You got any sausage related jokes?
What a sausage dog joke.
Oh,
on,
yeah.
then. Go on then.
It's in my list.
Is it about sausages being fed to Russ's dog?
Why did the cowboy get a wiener dog?
Don't know.
You wanted to get along, little doggy.
And on that note, my friends,
You are
that
so
is another episode of the Kindness Project. Sophie's got a joke. Sophie's got a joke. We might have to start a competition, Charlotte. We do Charlotte's joke of the week, Sophie's joke of the week, and we'll see how we get on.
What's the best thing about Switzerland?
I don't know, but the flag's a big plus.
Sus.
What's the best thing about Switzerland? I don't know, but the flag is a big plus. I like that. Well done. And on that note, and on that note, that's the end of another Kindness Project. Have a lovely week, and we'll see you on the podcast soon.
Bye.
Bye.